go. I'm gonna let this get some attention. Let this get some shine. Instead of doing that, we had agent provocateurs like your boy Flex spreading all kinds of conspiracy theories. None of them proven, and I don't think he slept last night because they were all through the night. It was an evolution of conspiracy theories. A lot of them were targeting me and my sexuality or whatever, but I don't know how some of y'all call another man as a man King Flex and you want to talk about me, but I ain't gonna talk about that. That's not my issue. So let me just go to the first one. Someone tries to bring him back to life. He says, nah, big homie. This is what he's saying to what the man y'all call Flex. What's wrong with y'all? You knew Carnell was LGBT when you said you supported her at the time. Now, since you fall out, being is something all of a sudden wrong with it. Yeah, you did get brand new, Flex. So what's wrong with being LGBT? So you're trying to throw shade. You're trying to throw a whole bunch of shade about something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Flex. Except for the fact that there's a problem. I did a whole video, Flex. Flex, about how the LGBT movement is co-opting the rights and not in solidarity with ADOS. I did a whole video about that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's confused anymore. But those of you who are confused, please, take a moment. Just take a moment. It won't take long. Just take a moment to find that video and see what I said in that video about how the LGBT movement was shoehorned. I had a whole thing about how they were shoehorned because they had a case recently too, a Supreme Court case, and they were trying to use civil rights law. And I said that was all of that. The women, all of that stuff was added in. And then I talked about LGBT and how they should do their own law and how they're shoehorning into what we're trying to do. I don't know if that sounds like, at least to me, if you're trying to get in terms of trying to wiggle and waggle your way in, it would just seem to me that you would wiggle and waggle your way in by kind of being on their side. On this show, I have always talked about ADOS first. That is the thing that holds us all together. That is the tie that binds us, that we are ADOS. That is the tie that binds us together. We might be everything else. I don't care what you are. You a woman, you a man, you gay, you lesbian, you this, you that. It don't matter. The thing that you like robots and you an engineer and you a garbage collector, whatever. It don't matter. The thing that ties us together is our bottom castness, and that extends all the way to slavery. I have always maintained that. So that dog don't hunt. If you had watched me, see, the thing is, Flex, you have kind of been on this space of talking about and co-opting the language of ADOS and supporting ADOS. But what I'm seeing now is that you probably never watched the videos. You watched the videos enough to get the language, but you didn't really digest the information. And that's going to be a problem for you going forward. Because you don't know how to make the arguments. You don't know which arguments to make. And you should have went to bed last night. I woke up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So that's going to be a problem for you. There's going to be a lot of problems. Let's just go all the way through them. So he kept going. So we talked about that. Let's just talk about what happens with people when these kind of agents of chaos. Let's talk about the agents of chaos. Now, this is the second thing. Let's talk about the second thing. I respect Byron Allen as a businessman, but when Byron was on the Breakfast Club, you dig, recently talking like Malcolm X, that raised a major flag. Hold on, why didn't you say it raised a major flag? Like if it raised, first of all, he wasn't sounding like Malcolm X. Go look at the Breakfast Club interview. I don't think Byron ever sounded like Malcolm X. And if you go back 2-3 years ago, he's saying the same thing on Antonio's show, on Antonio's interview that Antonio did with him. So what are you talking about? You don't pay attention. What are you talking about? So, but when Byron was on the Breakfast Club recently talking like Malcolm X, that raised a major flag. Byron has never talked that pro-black before. Now we see what the whole game was, you dig? How many black shows or movies does he currently have? Then somebody's like, oh, well, here we go. Looks like he's had a few over the years that he's created. Well, there go another dog that didn't hunt right. Then somebody else came in and said something else. Hold on, let me move this over and bring it up a little bit. Byron Allen made a $20 million bid for Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation. That shows some effort. So you showing that he's done black stuff. He's bought black stuff, and he tried to do, you know, he tried to get this movie, which might have been a blessing in disguise, and considering what happened with all the controversy. He says an effort. An effort. An effort. That's all you have is an effort. You don't have nothing else. You just got an effort. Let me just say one thing. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second for me. Wait. Because he says, you know, the law. There were a lot. Over the course of this night, where he was like up all night, over the course of his night, he found a bunch of different defenses, and he just kept trying them on. He tried them on and tried them on and tried them on. And tried them on and tried them on and tried them on. Well, he ain't did no black movies. You know, I see the finesse that y'all doing. And you just change the finesse. It's all kind of different finesses. So let me just I'm just going to go through the list, because this is just some silly business. So then he says, then after that, when the guy says he's had movies, he's had black shows, and he's had, you know, he tried to get black movies, he said, that's why the key word was currently. You dig? Currently, that's semantics. That's semantics, brother. Considering he was the one who started the bidding for the Nat Turner film, for the Nate Parker, to command the first $20 million purchase price for the indie film. He's done plenty behind the scenes that most people never knew about. That's true. But even if it wasn't true, understand, even if it was absolutely not true, what are you going to do about your civil rights? The Civil Rights Act of 1866, even if that were not true, and it is, what are you going to do? Put Byron aside. This is about civil rights. This is what I mean. We have to get to the point where we are going to be led by serious people. This man threw a temper tantrum all day because he had gotten caught up in his own grift. So I got caught up in my own grift, and instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm a grifter. I grifted too much. I grifted too far and too long. I'm finna dip out. You dig? He went over here and made a mess and created conspiracy theories. You have to ask yourself, and I'm asking all the Tariq Nasheed followers, what are you doing? Because this man, he wants to tear apart everything that we're doing, but he doesn't have any kind of solution for you. The only thing he's going to tell you is watch another documentary. We're trying to figure out how to do this thing politically, how to organize, how to get power. We have people at the Supreme Court, and we're going to keep pushing legislatively. We're going to keep pushing for reparations. We're going to keep pushing for a black agenda. What is this man doing? At a certain point, you have to ask yourself, am I going to get serious? He made up for, I've gone through what? 2 conspiracy theories. Okay, let me go to another one. Let's keep going. So when that didn't work, what he said is, hey, ring, boys, watch. Can I, listen, man, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I'm in a bit of a jive. Can you do me a favor and say some of that slick talk you say about Yvette sometime? Give me a little slick talk, boys. And boys, he always runs into a buzzsaw. So boys tweeted, you gotta love people who claim the ADOS movement has no leader. Then one of the leaders gets mad at Tariq Nasheed for holding an FBA conference. Black people can't have more than one conference. People need to stop trying to monopolize the movement. It's oppressive. But then something funny happened. Then some funny business happened. Oh, snap. I realized, Tariq Nasheed realized I done talk bad about Boyce. I told Boyce to come in here for me, and I forgot I called him Boyce Clickbait Watkins. Ain't that what you called him, Tariq? Boyce Clickbait Watkins. You called him that, and so he says somebody came in, Tariq. Tariq was just, you know, down about your character in one of his recent videos. Now you're siding with him. Come on, man. And then Tariq, as usual, just changed the whole thing. Nah, wasn't. Boyce is my dude. We had a lightweight disagreement and joked with him a bit. And we cool. That's that player stuff, you dig? You jive, turkey. Some of y'all dudes are extremely dramatic. Man, if you don't stop playing this game, some of y'all are just extremely dramatic. That's not what happened. Did nothing like that happen? Nothing like that. I don't know what you're talking about. We was just chilling and teasing. Or more like, I know Yvette don't mess with Boyce, so I'm going to just do this to side with her for a little while, because in a minute I got to do a conference and I'm going to try to get that bag. And so I got to throw you away for a little while, Boyce, because you know I got to get the bag, and Yvette's kind of what's popping, or the black agenda that they got what's popping. Yeah, okay. And then he didn't Meet the Blacks. It wasn't Meet the Blacks headed to theaters. Who was that? Who did that? Was Mike Epps? It's all very interesting. Who did that? Wasn't that Byron? He ain't had nothing. Nothing for the Negroes. He was just spinning all night. I ain't never seen somebody spin all night long. He put out, it was a Mike Epps movie that he put out, that Byron put out when no one else would. Isn't that a black movie? And Byron, and whether you like Byron or not, 100% black owned. He's 100. He owns all this stuff. No, ain't no well maybe or whatever. No, he owns all of it. I don't know. So let's just keep going, because I said I wanted to get off in enough time to like let everybody have a conversation. Let me see if I want to put this one up. What is this one? Which conspiracy was this? Oh, this is the next one. Okay, so we had the LGBT, and why should we support him? He did nothing for black. He did no black content. And then the next one was, while Tariq was up spinning, was civil rights don't matter. All over, civil rights don't matter. This case ain't gonna make or break black society. This is another fear tactic they are using to get us to support Democrats without getting any tangibles. Here's a question I have, though. Tariq, you said you're not political and you're just really about the culture. So what are you talking about tangibles for? But then you say that like this civil rights case doesn't matter, as if you know. Did you graduate middle school? I don't know what you did, because somebody told me that's not your name. I don't know anything about you. But did you graduate middle school? Like, how are you? We have actual. Let me bring this up. Let me bring this up. That law has been on the books for 150 years, and I tried my employer 2 years ago, and it didn't help me. Short of proof of them calling me a N-word. It was me against a conservative Texas court. Progress has been undermined to skin and bones by every other group except black people, and there is nothing left for us. Laws matter, people. Laws matter. And how laws are interpreted matter. See, the thing is, you got to take this to the court, and you got to have them say what it is. You can't have the court say, You can't have the court say one thing and the law be on the books and it's like, well, it's interpreted this way sometimes and it's interpreted this way another time and sometimes it's this way and it's good for you but it's not good for them. Now tell us what it is. Is it but for or not? Is it but for or is it not? Tell me what it is. You got to have the court tell us. Now listen, if we go to the court and we lose, then it goes back to Congress. Y'all got to pass us some laws because this stuff ain't working. And the Supreme Court said we can't use it this way. So y'all got to redo the whole egg. But you got to have the Supreme Court say what they say. So, civil rights laws always matter. But how they're written matters too. And how they are interpreted matters too. And we need this law. And we need this law to be interpreted in a specific way that's beneficial to us. That's why we go to the court. Tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. We're not doing this stuff where some people try to kind of butt forward and then the Ninth Circuit say, no, if race was a factor. No, you tell me what this is and then I can tell you whether or not I got to go to Congress and get me a new law or you tell me this law works for me and you uphold it. I need a standard from you. I didn't know how we're going to use this law from you at the Supreme Court. That's how it works. I'm not confused. Some people are. Let's talk about it. We're going to have to figure this but for clause out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? But you can't get that unless you have somebody who owns their own stuff and has millions of dollars to hire the right attorneys. That's how you get it to the Supreme Court. And what you do as an ADOS person, you support that because you want your stuff in the Supreme Court. Win or lose, you want it there because if you win, that's great. And if they side and we say, yeah, that's the standard we're going to use, that's great. If not, you go back to Congress. Write me a law. And you know what? Write me a better law than the one you wrote before because everybody's in this one and we still bottom cast. We're going to do a whole new thing. But they got to do it. But I mean, it's easier to just, what's that like? Conspiracy? What's it like? Theory number 3? Oh, that was the other conspiratorial thing. This is my understanding as well. I heard he is being used as a front man for CBS. That's like 4 theories, my dude. What's his real name? I heard that too. That's like 4 theories, my dude. In the sum of a night, you have had like me and the LGBT movement, and civil rights don't matter, and now it's CBS. How many theories you gonna have? And let me just go back to one point while I'm talking. We gotta learn to consult people who know stuff. Tariq ain't proof he know nothing about nothing. It's incredibly hard. This is from a Yahoo article, Yahoo Finance. But let me just put this quote up. It's incredibly hard for a plaintiff to win a race discrimination case. And if you set the standard so high that you have to show but for cause, it's just going to pull the rug out from underneath individuals who have to prove that. Michael Foreman, director of the Civil Rights Clinic at Penn State Law, told Yahoo Finance. You gonna listen to him or you gonna listen to Tariq, who ain't that ain't his real name? Presumably, a defendant can say, well, maybe we said discriminatory things, but there was a mixed motive. We also had an economic motive. The former slave owners had mixed motives too, said University of Hawaii at Manoa Law School Dean and Professor Avi Sorfa, referring to the fact that Section 1981 was passed in part to stop discrimination against free slaves. So at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, we all have to ask ourselves, who are we going to listen to? This man was online the past 24 to 36 hours just making up stuff. He done made up a bunch of different theories about what it is. And I got a side eye for some of you, especially some of you who have your own YouTube channels who decide to come in and co-sign for him. You better walk that back. Because I don't know what's going on with you because you're not making sense. See, I think we're going to have to start understanding when people are not right. It's going to be a lot of this stuff going on. There's a lot of people that wanted to be hip hop stars, that want to be celebrities, that wanted to be next to Puff Daddy and all that stuff, and that's not happening for them. And they got to find a way to get the bag, and they don't care if they destroy the Civil Rights Act or they destroy your life or whatever to get it. They don't care. You think he cares about you and what happens to your life, whether or not you can sue? He don't have a job. He just used this stuff, like his movies or whatever. That stuff's gonna run out. He need a new grift, man. And he doesn't care if he torpedoes everything that we're doing. You gotta stay away from these sloppy, reckless people. They will ruin everything. And I don't think we're prepared to cut people off. You got people saying, well, it's one side. I told y'all. I said, no, you gotta go. You gonna do FBA. Build your own stuff though. Hold your own nuts, Tariq. Build your own stuff. Don't mimic me. Don't parrot me. Don't parrot Antonio. Come up with some political plan all of your own. How you gonna get us free? Come up with it. I want to see it. Come up with it. Do it. Don't piggyback me to get your grift on. Don't piggyback me to get your next check. And throw a conference. Well, you just gonna sell all your videos and DVDs. Your conference sounds more like a funnel to make money than anything that's going to be helpful to ADOS in terms of systemic oppression and racism. And make no mistake, family, what we face is systemic oppression. It's multi-generational. It's not going to be helped by showing up to a conference where somebody just has a bunch of their DVDs and somebody's promoting their next thing and somebody's charged you to take a picture with somebody. They're going to leave there with the bag and you're going to leave there not better off. So you can ask me, well, I don't think this case is going to help. Well, you don't know anything. I haven't seen anything from you. I haven't seen any expertise from you, sir. So don't tell me what's not going to help nothing because you don't know nothing. But what are you going to do except throw a conference where y'all can chill out and do whatever? Right? And then let me just go to the... And some of this came from, Lord have mercy, Judge Joe Brown. We got a TV judge in the building who talking about all this stuff. And somebody gave him the business. And I'll get to that in a minute. But CBS, he said this was a CBS thing. And a CBS and Byron Allen is fronting for CBS. I tried for at least 15 minutes to understand what theory he was describing. And it didn't make no sense. But he has an axe to grind against CBS. And I was trying to figure out why. And then CBS cancels Judge Joe Brown amid salary dispute. Well, whatever. And that was about some LGBT trans stuff. He always talks about LGBT trans stuff. It's a very weird thing he got going on. But like, there are actual law professors who talk about this. There are actual labor attorneys who discuss this in depth. I don't need Judge Joe Brown to tell me nothing. That was what? Theory number 4 that Tariq came up with while he was up late. Mind you, he had said some real nice stuff about Byron in the article, in one of the articles he did, about how he's Byron is a melanoid nation stuff. Is that his? Byron is a shrewd businessman who's built up quite an impressive resume in entertainment. That's your outlet. You didn't have no problem with Byron then. When the Breakfast Club interview came out, you didn't have no problem. You ain't had no problem. Now all of a sudden we got all kinds of problems. Now all of a sudden I ain't never lied. He was talking black and I don't know what he do that for. Oh, what kind of black movies he got? He got black shows? He got black... I ain't never seen no black shows. I ain't never seen nothing what he did. Nah, you wanted... What you want? So you don't know how to be me and Antonio and just... We don't be wanting nothing. You would have... He ain't called me. Why he ain't saying nothing to me? And then a labor attorney tried to tell you that you're wrong. And shout out to you. Shout out to you, Sean. I understand your point in that courts are unfair to black people because Tariq said courts don't matter. They can do whatever they want to black people now anyway, you dig? He said, I understand your point in that the courts are unfair to black people. However, as an experienced labor law attorney, I can say your statement is legally and factually wrong. And with your influential platform, for black people who already have an uphill battle in the courts. And what he's saying to Tariq is that you're being irresponsible. Like you're wrong, and because you have an axe to grind, you're being irresponsible. You have a platform, and you're being irresponsible with your platform. And what I'm telling you is that Tariq didn't care. He didn't care. What does that tell you about his character and what he cares about in terms of ADOS people? And he said this. He said, Tariq, with all due respect, and just so we're clear, see, he said, are you saying if are you saying that if Comcast wins in having the U.S. Supreme Court raise the burden of proof of discrimination cases to a but-for standard, this will have no real impact on black people? If so, what is your base? He don't have no basis. He's just talking. He's just upset. People like this can't lead you anywhere. I really don't understand. And I don't understand why we don't understand that these people like Tariq, they can't, or whatever his real name is, I don't know. They can't lead us anywhere. And I'm trying to find one other thing. Because they don't have a solution. His solution is watch, not organize and go to the Supreme Court, or not organize and do a conference that, well, I don't get a bag, but I do black politics. No, that's not your thing. You just want to do something when you get the bag. And I think you really showed out these last few days. And the last theory was, they done got co-opted by the Democrats. See? I told y'all, it's a Democratic finesse. It's a Democratic finesse. You dig? Except for a few things, Tariq. See, the man who's still, head of the DNC and Democratic Party, the Democratic Party, the head of the DNC. You know what the DNC is, Tariq? Antonio Moore blasted that man. Head of the Democratic Party, Antonio Moore blasted that man. And don't say, well, that was a while ago. That was 2017. That one. He's still there though. He's still in power at the DNC. And Antonio blasted him. You gotta make it make sense. Antonio Moore, Tom Perez, chair of the DNC, also oversaw high African American unemployment and the rise of Uber. Go read that article. You'll see. That Antonio Moore blasted Perez, who is still at the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. How can we be in bed with people and blasting the people in power at the same time? Tariq, you have no political education. And you didn't do your research. It's not my problem, though. That's your problem now. Deal with it. The grift is over, though. The grift is over. I don't know what you're going to do. And I don't know that I care based on how you've attacked me. So I don't know if I care. And I tried to be cool beans just because I said maybe he changed. Ain't nobody changed. Chaos, agents of chaos and confusion. Chaos and confusion. Judge Joe Brown and they know they the agents of Democrats. They was finessing. And boys, get on here and tweet something I can retweet, boys. I ain't mean to call you that, boys. We was just chilling and funning and stuff. I ain't mean none of that. You know how Flex do it. You know how it is. And let me just say this too. Hold on, let me put this. Let me take this off the screen. 1 second, please. Also, let me say this. In terms of being in bed with Democrats, in addition to what Antonio has done, we have eviscerated every Democratic candidate. Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, the front runner. We totally basically ended Kamala Harris's campaign. Who else we got? We talked some about Buttigieg's.